Welcome to SML Total Access, where we break down news, predictions, and more in our Madden League. Now, let's get fired up for SML football.
Welcome back to SML Total Access, the playoffs of SML Total Access. I'm Prime, joined by Matt and Dan. What's going on, fellas?
This is it, boys. This is the last hurrah for Madden 24, the last chance to make a statement. Lots of pressure out there. We're loving it.
Yeah, my game's deleted, but I'm still all in, man. I love these games. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it means a lot for a lot of people. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First down, recapping the wild card round. Any games you guys watched or kind of just were surprised by, or games you wanted to highlight, performances? Matt, we'll start with you.
I don't know if there were any surprises. I felt like the first round went exactly as we expected. I did think QP was going to win, but I thought that game was... I actually picked 21-17 as the final, but I thought QP was going to win, and it was 21-16 KP. I think for me, I was just surprised at some of the scores. I'm not surprised that Straw beat Bomber. I'm surprised at how he beat him. I was playing at the same time, so I didn't have a full attention on that game, but it looked like he was up most of the game, and really they basically could have gone to a running clock in the second half. Dan blowing out the defending champ. You absolutely beat the brakes off of QB, who I really expected more from QB, who's won championships in this league. I think some back-to-back championships. So no surprises at the outcomes, but some of the scores surprised me.
Yeah. Dan?
Wait, the NFC, they played their games? I didn't even realize they played their games. Oh, wow. Oh, I guess I missed those ones. Anyhow, AFC, yeah, those games, I'm right with Matt. Yeah, I think pretty much went as we thought, being the KP being the best game, and it truly was. It was a classic kind of game. Both guys played well. Both guys had chances to kind of probably win it easier, and they didn't. I thought Q was going to score there at the end, and just kind of uncharacteristic stuff. I don't know if that's the set feet lead. I whatever. But no, I thought it's just this is what SML is. It's a competitive league. There are, let's just say potentially 10, 12 guys that we've seen all cycle that can win. And even wild card games, I mean, they are going to be tough games. They're going to be competitive games. And we got good quality all the way in the beginning of August. It's kind of wild. A good testimony to the league.
Yeah, no fair sims or forced losses in the wild card round. Everybody was here. They played their games. A lot of games that could have, there are some blowout scores, but they could have been a little bit different. I know that Gutta game versus Dan felt like Gutta had a play or two here or there where maybe he could have done something that he couldn't do or didn't do. Q against, KP just came down to the wire. Felt like I thought Q was going to work his magic right at the end. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work out that way. And then obviously Bomber, I kind of thought that he had Herbert. This might be his run. I don't think he's a player with set feet lead that really gets boosted up by it. Guys like Dump or Doink or some other guys fits their style a little bit better. Bomber not so much. It was just an interesting round. I think we're going to see some closer games as we get later in the playoffs. So I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about that right now. Do you guys have any, divisional playoff round previews for any games you guys are looking forward to watching?
Well, there's only one game really to look forward to, right? That's the only game that really going to matter. Colts or Steelers. We can probably put aside some of that for a little bit later, because that's going to be a fun game. But hey, let's give a shout out where we recorded after Woods already won. Woods is looking right back. Probably
good.
The wildest cycles that anyone's really ever had. I have no idea where to place him, and he's making a good run. And my goodness, if he makes another Super Bowl, even wins another Super Bowl, what the heck do you do with Woods? The Meats Straw is going to be an interesting game. I think that's probably a game that Meats doesn't want, but he has the much better team, and so that can always be the factor in it as well too. The KP Stavo is going to be very interesting. I looked at both of their regular season games, and I think Stavo won them both, but by 4 and by 3 points. So really close games, a lot more high scoring than I thought. And so I think KP is going to be ready for that. We have not seen Stavo step up yet. Okay, last time he was the 1 seed, got knocked out by the
Yeah,
7 seed. So
crush.
this is another big test, a lot of pressure on him,
Yeah.
and we'll see how he handles it. But outside of that, I mean, I think all eyes are going to be on the Colts and the Steelers, and Prime's sitting over there reeking with desperation, trying to get into the conversation of being one of the top of the cycle. So I'm just sitting back and smiling and enjoying every moment of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll talk about Woods first. He just won. I mean, Doink said it best. He played perfect, and really, he pretty much did. I mean, there was a corner route that was thrown. I think Prime, you mentioned on commentary. He clicks on, undercuts it. I mean, and then he made, Dean made a couple of nice user picks there too on the user. I mean, he was just excellent. He was excellent versus me, and I mean, sometimes it might not be. Is Woods the best player remaining in the playoffs? I don't think many people would say yes, but it's not always who's the best player. It's who's the hottest. And right now, I think Woods might be the hottest. He's got Josh Allen rolling. He seems to click with him. And I think Woods, don't discount him. Looking at the other game, I agree with Dan. I know Meats, and I think he even put it in chat, he beat Straw by 20 early on in the season, or some point in the season. I don't think it was early. It might have been the midway point. But, man, I don't care. I've blown out Straw before, too. It doesn't matter, dude. This guy's going to smile. Yeah. He took it on the chin. He's going to come in, and he knows how to ball. He plays a lot of Madden. His stream is up a lot. He knows what he's doing. He runs a very good, efficient offense. You've got to be able to bait him into turnovers, or you're in a shootout, and you better not blink first. So, obviously, Meats is the favorite. He is playing lights out, but oh man, I don't think that's a matchup he wanted. KP and Stavo, I think that's a fantastic matchup. But Stavo has said in chat, I don't like this. He seems a little nervous. He's putting it out there that he doesn't really want this one. So that's going to be interesting to see how he responds. KP, I don't know how this dude gets pressure. QP was in the red zone, and 4-man rushes were getting there before he could make his third and fourth read. So pretty impressive. Yeah, and then I mean, there's a clear main event, right? It's the two of you, and you're both going for Psycho Goat. I think you're the only ones left that can reach that status. So I don't know if this is good or bad for Dump, because if you weren't playing each other, you both could have lost. Now this guarantees that you're both in one of you is in the championship game for the conference. So that's going to be the one, right? All eyes on you guys. Yeah,
there's a lot of good games. The Meats Straw game is interesting. Meats only one loss on the season. Part of me, I'm just gonna make predictions. I guess I don't care. I think Straw is gonna beat Meats. I think Straw is the more proven playoff player. He's had deeper playoff runs. Woods, got a credit to him. I commentated that game over Doink. He just looked good defensively, and he looked so much calmer and more confident than I had seen him in a while, which is scary for whoever wins that Meats Straw game. KP versus Stavo is an interesting one. I think that KP has a game that translates better to the playoffs than what Stavo's does. I also think Stavo had a bit of a hiccup the week prior to the last game of the season. I know Doink rested his starters. That win doesn't really count. The win he had, or the loss he had rather, to Straw in a game that was a playoff type of feel where he just looked out of sorts at times, didn't look good. I think that's creeping into his head. I think the pressure of the SML playoffs is creeping into his head. His game's going to be commentated. The pressure of going one and done again and having to sit on that for a while when you have set feet lead, when you have a good team, that's all creeping in. And KP knows, he studies, he knows the game well. He's got a playoff style. I think KP wins that game. And finally, the Colts-Steelers game. Yeah, everyone's saying the main event. I think, obviously, it's my game, so I'm thinking it's the main event. But I'm going to win that game. Dan hasn't beat me in forever. Let's just talk about it, Dan. After I beat you, I'll have more and win the Super Bowl. I'll have more playoff wins than you. After I beat you, this will be my third straight win against you. Your last big win over me was over 3 seasons ago. That's almost 4 months ago. That game you beat me was the playoffs, but I had Dak Prescott as a quarterback. Your regular season win percentage is 10% less than mine for the cycle. I'm about to have more playoff wins than you, a better playoff win percentage than you, a better regular season win percentage than you in the cycle, and after I beat you and win the Sombardi, I'm going to have 2 Sombardis this cycle. When's the last time you've had 2 Sombardis? Never.
Man, you really do want this. That wasn't just a kind of a joke or a lie. I mean,
This is
you went
serious.
out and tried to do a preemptive
It's done.
shot at Q in that article. You try to send me voicemails before my playoff games and try to get into my head. Now you're trying to fire off all these numbers, trying to prove something. Listen, the eye test is what the eye test is. And everyone knows that you showed up in the first season. You show up now in the last season. You're 1-2 against me in the playoffs. You're 1-2 against Q in the playoffs, or your whatever record against Q in the playoffs. You weren't anywhere to be found mid cycle. So this whole talk about you being the cycle GOAT, if you win one, is a good discussion. But let it be a discussion for the future. Right now is the fact that you know right now that you have only option you have right now is to try to get into my head, try to play the mental game. You know, right now, play for play, I'm just going to line up, and you know that I can throw heavier punches than you right now. So all
You haven't
this
beat me in 3 games.
banter.
You haven't beat me in 4 months.
I was throwing all over you
It's
and
April.
getting 2
You
hours
haven't beat me
of
since
sleep.
April.
Getting
You haven't
2
beat me
hours
since
of
it was
sleep. And
snowing outside.
I ran 2 cover
it's
ones
August.
to give you free touchdowns.
You haven't beat me since
and,
April.
And you beat me. And
The eye test.
Okay.
The eye test.
We haven't
is,
even played. We haven't even played.
I just beat you 3.
The eye test is.
I just beat you this
that's the only
season.
time we played since April, though. That was the only time. The one time since April.
No,
So don't
I
act
beat
like
you
we've
2
played
times.
every single season. Don't act like we've played every season.
This will be the 3rd straight time I beat you since April. And the eye test is what it is. I beat you the last 2 times we played, and the only time you beat me was with Dak Prescott.
Listen, maybe you did. Maybe you did a little bit more research. I don't remember us playing from Dak until this last.
Oh
time.
yeah, remember the time you got tackled the 1 yard line on the no huddle play?
Oh yeah. When was that? I thought that was before Dak.
2029.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
So
good memory.
So
I'll give you credit there.
And as for the QP thing,
I know, I get this. This game means more for you. Okay.
No, we have the same amount. We have the same amount of Simbardies.
I have a chance to go from 1 to 3. That's like my range right now, probably a cycle kind of somewhere in that range.
You think? Hold on. You think people are going to look at you with 1 Simbardi and me at 1 Simbardi with the more regular season wins I have than you? We have the same playoff record right now, and you act like it means any more or less. People are going to look at my
100%. I actually made it to another Super Bowl. I'm saying if you don't make it to another Super Bowl, say we neither of us do this one. I have a better record than you. I have a better overall resume than you.
I'll get just because you made the 1 more Super Bowl.
I made 1 more Super Bowl.
I'll give it to you.
And again, I didn't disappear for 5 seasons.
You disappeared for 5 seasons, just not consecutively.
Yeah, well, again, for cycle GOAT is what we're talking about. Consistency matters. That's why Woods, even if he wins the Super Bowl, is going to be in a real hard spot to sell himself, even though he will have the most Super Bowls and been to the most Super Bowls because he had 2 top 5 picks.
And let me
it matters
real quick. The QP article was him just poking at me like a little 3-year-old kid, poking, and I finally slapped his hand. And then without set feet lead, what does he do? He goes 1 and done, and his last pass of the cycle is an interception without set feet lead. That's all that is. But
I can't say much there. I think you got a pretty good point.
I mean, that was literally 4 days.
What your little minions do, and you get all your little minions out there trying to do the same thing. So let's not try to act like this. The bottom line is when we
what's going to
line
happen in our game?
Come tomorrow night, we're going to go punch for punch. We're going to go pound for pound. It's going to be a heavyweight fight. It's going to be a classic game. And right now, you're 0-3 in tight games when it comes to the playoffs. I got you an advantage, 2-1. I think you're going to choke again. I just think that's going to be the signature display of your cycle. Is Prime was this close, and he choked every single time he had a chance to get over the hump. I don't know if it's going to be an OT choke. I don't know if it's going to be a 2-point conversion choke, but it's going to be a choke job, and you're going to have to eat that for the next whatever we got 3-4 more months to the next Super Bowl. Maybe not that long.
Just know that Dak Prescott's not playing this time.
All right, hey, I got to interrupt you. Well, you guys are going to start talking about your golf handicaps soon. We gotta move on here.
Hey, if he carries his golf clubs, then I'll golf against him too. Hey, what's your dream Super Bowl matchup? Obviously, if you could exclude yourself, maybe you can include yourself. I don't care.
Yeah,
Dan, you go.
I got 3 of them. I got 3 that I think would be a blast. First off, me and Woods. I think that'd be a great rematch. I think that'd be a great moment. Not only because we played each other and I need to get revenge, but he's got Josh Allen. That would be a great moment for all the Josh Allen truthers out there to shove it down my throat. or me to shut
Oh,
them
that would
up
be fun.
one time. Also, would be great would be Prime versus Meats, but only if Meats wins. That would be the ultimate way that Meats can just. I mean,
The
Meats
folding
deserves
chair.
everything that goes his way if he could beat Prime in a Super Bowl. And then the third one would be the all-time Mr. Nice Guy Super Bowl, KP versus Straw. I mean, how do you root versus any of those guys? Like both those two guys would be like,
Yeah,
hey, I want them both to win. So I think those are the three best matchups we got left.
that's good. Matt?
Yeah, I'll exclude myself from this topic. But for me, I think for the theater and everything, I think the dream matchup is that whoever wins your game between the two of you goes on to the Super Bowl, just because then we actually have a cycle GOAT narrative to go along with the matchup. But I also compiled a couple Straw versus Prime. So why don't we end the cycle how we started it? See if Straw can get revenge on Prime. I also had Prime versus Meats just because just the hilarity that would ensue with that. The worst Super Bowl matchup would be Stavo versus Meats. Nobody wins on that one.
Yeah.
I would also like to.
Yeah.
I would also like to see Dan versus Woods. Couple of old timers going at it. You'd have the narrative with Dan going for cycle GOAT. You'd have Woods trying to win 2 when I don't know if anybody imagined he'd even get 1. And he's coming off a top 5 or so pick and just running through the NFC. So those are my list right there.
For me, I have actually an interesting one where I think neither of these guys have made any enemies at all, and that's KP and Woods. I think both of them kind of have a good defensive style. They both play smart offensively. Just two good defenses going toe to toe, and whoever wins, nobody will be mad at them. I would like to see Dan versus Straw. Dan's again a defensive player. It's kind of like the old. Remember a couple years ago when Tom Brady played the Rams, and it was supposed to be like. It was going to be like Bill Belichick's elite defense against Jared Goff and Sean McVay. And you got the Rams who are super dynamic, greatest show on turf type of offense against Dan's defense. And for me, it would be me versus Meats. I don't know why. I've played in this league with them since like season 12. Never had a Super Bowl matchup. He'd be fun to talk trash with. I think he could give it back pretty good. I would just about have to destroy my phone if I lost because I could not stand the graphics that would ensue if I lost. But that'd be a fun one.
I think I'd rather lose to you, Prime, and then go to the Super Bowl and have to play against Meats. I think that'd be one of the worst
The pressure.
spots you're in because it's like, yeah, and it's almost like a no-win situation. And then the potential, especially for me, where, I usually struggle against guys that I think or people think I'm going to win against. And man, you lose to Meats in that Super Bowl. You got to reevaluate your life at that point.
I will say Meats this season, last 2 seasons, has gone from a guy that's like you circled to, hey, he's got set feet lead. He's 16-1. Like losing to him right now, he's got the number 1 scoring offense in the league. Like it's not losing to Meats season 1. I mean, he's got a really good team and set feet lead. So the pressure would definitely be on though, because it's Meats. Let's move on. Share the love. Topic 4. Matt, who are you sharing your love on?
Yeah, I'm going to share my love on a couple of guys that have been flapping their gums a little bit, and I think they just need some uplifting. I'm going to start with QP. He kind of acted like this one didn't matter. He talked about, he's had a couple of mimosas, and he just wants to delete the game, and blah, blah, blah. Nah, he wanted to win. He fell short. He chirped at me even before he chirped at me yesterday, saying I wasn't trying to win the game against Woods. And then he says that he's not going to play like me today. Well, I mean, you lost the game. I don't know why I was on your mind. I gave all I could versus Woods. You see that he's a very good player. He just beat Doink by more than he beat me. So I hope you find that joy in your life again, and maybe it's Madden 25. And then a similar little guy is Meats. Meats sitting there at 16-1. He was chirping that I also wasn't trying to win the game and blah, blah, blah. But I just smoked him the last playoffs by 20 some points. I I don't know. I don't know where this narrative came from, but I hope that Meats also finds the peace in his life. I'm a guy that likes to hold my head up, do the right thing. Find a $20 bill on the sidewalk as a result. And I wish Meats well against Straw, but I just hope those guys find peace in their life.
Wow,
That's good. That's good. Hey, I'm gonna share my love with KP. Everyone knows he's one of my boys. Played for a long time, and just a master class of being prepared. Just throwing some wrinkles from usering guys off the edge or putting guys in zones and man and all sorts of different things, keeping QP guessing. Just a classic game. I love the chess match. Love the battle there, and that was a great game to win, man. I'll be in your DMs about Stavo. We'll take care of that guy as well too. But just really impressive, and I think you're setting yourself up for just a big run next cycle. So hats off. Hope to see you in the AFC Championship game.
That's good. Yeah, I would like to spread my love to everybody who made the season a good one, even QP, who poked at me, and I did write an article about him, and I was right, but I do love him. I think he's a good guy. I think he's very sharp. I think he'll have a great cycle in Madden 25 with the Chargers. I expect him to go back to LA with Justin Herbert, who has passed lead elite. I lost $100, and I had to PayPal him that about a week ago, which was unfortunate for me. I also would like to spread the love to Stavo. I just want to say, hey, man, great season. Sucks that you didn't make the Super Bowl this cycle, but it sounds like you're going to lose to KP or myself or Dan if he gets lucky. And it's been a good cycle for you, man. It really has been. So I just want to spread the love early in advance that you had a good cycle, and you'll get them next year.
It's nice of you.
Yes. Matt, what's your Matt 5?
Yeah, I struggled with this one since we're at the end of this cycle, but I did want to keep it Madden 24 focused. We'll talk about Madden 25 at a later but kind of soon date. So I went with my top 5 performances of the wild card round. So at number 5, I've got Doink. Look, don't let Paulie fool you. He knows the game. Listen to him commentate. He can tell you what plays are being ran. He can tell you what stops them. Very smart guy. That game had a lot of back and forth. I think it even might have had a kick return touchdown, if I recall. Again, I was playing at the same time, so I can't quite remember.
Kick return touchdown. Oh gosh.
Doink stayed focused, didn't let it get to him, and he won the game. He made a big throw late. Hats off to Doink. At number 4, I've got Prime. I thought the Colts Dolphins. I thought that was going to be one of the old Prime QB stud battles. I didn't put much stock into Week 18. QB set as starters. I know Prime started his for like a half, but I know Prime wasn't running the offense. He didn't want to give too much away, but didn't really matter. It was kind of the same result, if not worse, and QB just never was able to do anything. So I was really impressed with Prime just because of the caliber of the opponent. And I know QB has said he doesn't like that team, but Finn's left him in a really good spot with a 99 overall QB. That's a good team.
Jalen
Waddle. He's got a good defense. Everything about that team is good. KP coming up next. Again, I think what I called this game, but what most impressed me about KP, he's up 2 scores. Dan says to run the ball in the chat, and he throws a pick. And then the next play is a streak touchdown. It completely changes the game, right? And he stays focused. He goes down and he answers with the score. I'm impressed by that. That's how you beat the big dogs. When you let them back in the game, you got to put that foot back on their throat. And he did that. A lot of guys, including myself, I've been in that position where I've been beating a guy that's elite. You make one mistake, boom, it just snowballs, right? But he hung in there and he did really well. At second, I got Dan. I know this game was closer than maybe the final score said, but Gutta looked out of sorts. When he went through the playoffs last year, he had a spark about him. He had like that magic. He made every play, right? Yeah. It's just when you thought he was down and out, nope, he made the play, whether it was on offense or defense. And Dan just kind of never let him get in a groove. He would have his flashes here and there, but Dan just would always just kick him back down. So I thought that was really impressive to knock out the defending champ, who, I mean, I think Gutta's one of those guys. I think he only made the playoffs 3 times this whole cycle, and I think it was the last 3 seasons. But once he gets going, I think he's streaky, and Dan just avoided that really well. At number 1, I got Straw. I'm sorry, but this guy, I was shocked when I was playing at the same time, so I wasn't paying any attention. But when I went back and watched, I was shocked to see that he took care of Bomber so handedly, especially with Bomber having set feet lead. I know that doesn't play to his style, but set feet lead doesn't play to mine either, and I won a Super Bowl with it. It's really that good, and so. But Straw, again, he reminds me of Bret Hart, man. He's the excellence of execution. He knows exactly what he's going to do, and he just executes it really, really well. So Straw gets my performance of the week in the wild card round.
Wow, good stuff, man.
Good. That's good. Go to game, and it wasn't even that close. I mean, I was running my season 1 basically offense because there was no need for me to do much in that game. He handed me the game with all his interceptions. So don't let anyone fool you that score wasn't even close.
Wow. Holy cow. I feel bad for Gutta.
Yeah, Gutta catching strays. You probably didn't expect that.
And I listened back to the commentary in that game. I heard you and Tiny trying to act like you guys knew every little thing I was
predicted
doing.
your 5 plays, you goof.
Yeah, because I ran the basic stuff. I didn't have to run anything.
All you do is basic stuff. I wasn't
demanded to run anything. That's all I had to do.
Hey, I do basic stuff.
That was the simple stuff.
I do simple stuff and I win.
Stuff.
You're not complex.
Yeah.
You're not Andy Reid.
But you think I'm going to run those same kind of plays when I play you tomorrow?
You do it every time.
Come on, man.
You're gonna. You call the same play. Listen, goof. Listen.
Interesting.
You call the same play. You call the same play, and you'll do a drag route on it and think it's different. Like, come on, Dan. I played you 50 times. You're no different than you've been 4 seasons ago.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
You act like you're some grand master with a gray beard and a staff. You are an overrated, out of date, expired, bona fide, wanna be great bum. I'll see you tomorrow.
It's all about the subtleties, and right now the subtlety is that you're looking up to me, and that's the reality where you got to sit for the next 24 hours. You are looking up,
and you'll be looking up at the scoreboard when you're down by 50. See you around.
Buckle up, league.
Buckle up. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be fire. See you around.